Hello everyone, I'm Virginia Killmore and welcome to my studio. Today we're going to be using a butterfly set from the annual catalog that's retiring. This is the last week of the annual catalog, so if there's something in there that you'd like, make sure to get it ordered. Some things are already selling out. The card we're making today features a spotlighting technique that I thought you'd like to see, and you won't have to hand color it. You could actually use the stamp to do the coloring. So let's get started. So this is the stamp set we're going to be using today. Actually, it's called Butterfly Gala, and I have it priced according to if you purchase just the stamps or the cutters, which aren't in here. They're in another one. And if you want both of them. And that's the price that I'm selling them for. They're retiring items, and I can't use them anymore. So if it's something you're interested in, please let me know. So to do this card, we actually stamped the white area with a black Memento, and then we cut out these pieces, and then I ink those up so that they're colored in. And it's nice because the stamp set comes with the outline design, and then these are used to color in some of our images. So let's get started with that. We also used the framelits, the layering framelits that I have, and what I like about them is one set of them are just straight squares, which is what we're going to use to cut out the butterflies, and then the next layer is scalloped, which is what we're going to use to cut out the Magenta Madness. So that's the first thing we need to do, is cut out our pieces. And because I want to try to use it out of the base piece, the piece that's behind here, I'm going to cut two of them right on top of one another. So let's get my cutter out. And we'll have to do that right here. I guess I got this flipped. I love this because it has all the numbers on there, and I always know that I have the right stack based on the picture that's right there. So I'm just going to line these up. You probably can't see that. There you go. I forget that you can't see everything. Okay, it doesn't matter if they're not perfectly lined up because we're literally cutting it out and then we're going to put it behind. It would help though if I had it the cutting side down. I hope nobody caught that, but I tried to cut it with the cutting side up. It wouldn't have helped me at all. Okay, so here we go. It's okay if it moves as long as it doesn't move on top of one another. Okay, let's see. We should get that cut in just one cut. And we'll need it again when we cut the butterflies out from the white piece. But this is a relatively easy card. See how nice we got all these little framed pieces for our background, and then we can go ahead now and glue this right into our cardstock. I always have a hard time getting a word out. So you see how I've got all my framelits together. I love the way that is. It's right on a layering piece of magnetic paper, which makes it so easy to track it down. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down since we've got this set. And I'm just going to put some glue all over this. Get that glued down and set aside till we are ready to put our card together. Always like to use my bone folder to make sure it's all squished out. Okay, so now we're ready for the card front, and for that we're going to be using Memento ink. This stamp set comes with both butterflies together. Now, I have in the past cut them, and you may find that if you purchase this, one of the sets is cut apart. I can't remember which one, but I know I cut one apart. Maybe I didn't. Oh yeah, that one. That's the one I cut apart. See how it's... And it's nice because you can just put it back together on the block and stamp with it, but if you want it cut apart, you have more options. But I didn't find that the placement of this card really made that much difference. I'm going to put one scatter here, and one here. So I'm going to use my Memento ink. The reason I like that is it's really dark and seems to stamp better. So I'm going to go ahead and put one here. I want to leave a little room right here for my sentiment. Another one scattered right up here. And then the last one up top. Now, what I want to do is the parts that I'm showcasing, I want those colored in. The parts I'm not showcasing, I don't want them colored in. So what I'm going to do now is cut out my sections that I want on my machine, and then I can color those pieces in. And I have 3 pre-selected sizes for that. So let's do that again. Let's see if I can remember to have it so that you can see what is going on. I think the hardest part, oh, it looks like I put a big, ugly, dark thumbprint there, but we'll use my little eraser in a little bit to get that cleaned up. So I'm just going to pick arbitrarily spots that I want my cutout. Now I could tilt them, I could make them smaller. Can make them all any size I want. I think the main thing I like is that they're sort of lined up. And I want to remember that I'm going to have some pink paper. I don't want them too close. I'm going to move that up just a tad and center him. Okay, I'm happy with that. Now let's see if I can get this on here without it moving. That's always the trickiest part. Oh, I did it. And if it's crooked, it's okay, but it won't be what I intended, but that happens all the time. We all do stuff that we don't intend. But now you can see I have a crack in here, but it works fine. My tendency is to use a block until it goes away. Now you may not be able to see this, but see right here, there's a tiny little thumbprint. I'm going to use my eraser to lift some of that off, and it's just because my finger was dirty. I probably put it in something and it took it right off, which I love. Now that is crooked. That one did go through crooked, but that's okay. We're going to make it work. And now these just go back in here, and you have all these beautiful layers, yep, like this, to make cards with. And that's why I love the set. I have an oval one and a square one. The circle one is carrying over. Okay, so now this is going to go on here on the back of this. I'm not going to glue it down yet because I'm trying to decide whether I want ribbon on there, but I need to color these in because these are my spotlighted pieces. So what I'm going to do is take my ink pad and ink it up and color the top parts of the butterfly. This is the top ink. And the only part that's hard is seeing where I'm going without sticking my head in. I hope you're not looking at my head. You're looking at my scarf though. See how I just colored that in? Didn't have to do anything to it. It's all colored in for me. Just trying to line that up because you can see through to what I'm doing. See how nice that colors that in? Now we're going to do the little butterfly. We actually have a tiny little piece of it in all of them. And I'm off a little bit, so I'm just going to go back and recolor that. Doesn't seem to matter. That one came out really good. And I'm noticing I have a little bit of pink there, so I may go back and do that. And there's just a little tiny piece right there. You can barely see it. I'm going to color it anyways. Okay. And then this one needs a tiny bit of color at the top. The hardest part is figuring out where it is. There, I colored that in. And then the last part is the base of the butterfly. Trying to keep my hands clean because I can see my hands are not perfectly clean. And I was off, so I'm going to go back over it. I think I did pretty good. Still not 100% happy, but remember, handmade card, not man-made, not machine-made card. Okay, so now all we have to do is our sentiment, which I'm going to go ahead and stamp on here before we put those blocks on. I hope I'm not sorry. Okay, so now we're set to put our card together. So the first thing we're going to do is take our little squares. Let's let this dry for a little bit and glue them onto our squares, to the colored squares. So let's take the big one. Because the big one got a part cut out of it, we have to be super careful with how much glue we put in. So I'm going to just put a tiny line of it. Hopefully I didn't go over too far. Yep, I did, but that's okay. I know how to fix that. Okay, that's on there nicely. And this one. And this one. Again, I want to center it. Now, you could get a smaller frame if you liked. I just thought these looked really bright and cheery right now. After the winter week we had last week, we need bright and cheery, don't you think? So, now comes the part that I have to make a decision. I had not done this with the other one, and I don't think I'm going to do it this time. Because it really gets confusing. And this one's going to have to be a little crooked. Actually, it doesn't. It doesn't look too bad if it's not crooked. So I'm just going to make it straight and pretend that I intended it that way and see how that picks up on a little bit of that. Yep, I think that's what we're going to go with. Now, the way I'm going to do that is to use dimensionals below, because the dimensionals will pop it up. Just going to get some glue along the edges here and get my card down. And I've decided against using the ribbon. Even though it looks really pretty and it's retiring. Oh, actually the magenta is not retiring. No, all the in-color ribbons retire at the end of the year. So yeah, it is retiring. Okay, so I'm going to put dimensionals here. I'm going to need 2 for this one. I think I'm going to use a third one here because it's so big. And then just 2 here. Okay. I don't know if you've ever seen this trick, but I love my pokey tool to lift these off because I just take them all to the trash. And they're not all over me when I leave my studio. The only trick is you want to go at it at an angle because I've poked through my card before. So the main thing now is just lining it up so that I like it and it looks correct to me. It's not perfect, but I was trying to straighten out my crookedness. And this one you can't see anything because the butterfly, actually I cut so much of it. But this one matches up perfectly. I love how that line continues off and it looks colored in. It just makes a really pretty card and a very simple and quick one to use. I hope you enjoyed today's card. Make sure to like and share or subscribe. Share it with your friends or subscribe to my channel, and to come back at some point to see more tips, techniques, and inspiration. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.